Symphony Hall. Donald Sir is the composer, and the piece was called Slavery Documents. And Donald Sir was a professor at Tufts University at the time, and he had composed this piece, a big sprawling orchestral piece with chorus and a whole slew of instruments, using the texts from the antebellum time in the United States, various texts having to do with slavery, and really went head on into that whole issue. It was a huge big deal. This was, it's probably, how long ago is it now? Probably 30 years ago now. But it was a big, big deal in Boston. It got coverage on GBH television, and then. But the piece was never fully finished. It was just a torso, the first half, and Donald Sir died, and they went ahead and commissioned somebody to write a second part. So they did this two big part. The other guy was T.J. Anderson, and so you can find this if you look for it. It's interesting. But anyway, I was at the performance of this, and who shows up but another professor from Tufts University, Mark Devoto, who's already a friend of mine. And I said, "What are you doing here?" He says, "I wouldn't miss this. This is like this colleague, and it was a huge, big deal." And he had been involved in, going through Donald Sir's papers and finding his compositions, and some of them had never been performed. And I said, "Dude," he was like, "Yeah, I would talk to Mark like that." "Dude, is there any piano music by Donald Sir?" So he sent me this back in 2002, a letter from Mark Devoto. "Here is some of Donald Sir's piano music." And he mentions that this piece that I'm going to play you today, the Prelude, he found 11 different versions of it, which, when you try to document this stuff musicologically, it can be kind of awkward. You don't know which version is which. But he sent me this one from '95. Sir died in 1999. So I just have this piece, and he encouraged me. He said, if you like these pieces, they were trying to record them, but then he said, please perform it anywhere. There are no restrictions that I know of, and certainly his music, even the small stuff, needs to be heard more. This is a small piece, it's just 3 pages long. But, I felt like, yeah, this is what I should do. So one of the things I try to do as much as I can is whenever I give a concert, play music by somebody I know or somebody who's close to me, it's relatively nearby, whose work deserves to be heard. So this is just a little piece by Donald Sir entitled Prelude. other pieces by this composer that are short piano pieces, and some of them extremely short. 2 measures. Very unusual. And also some of them are performed, I don't know much else, but I mentioned it to a friend of mine, David Hoos, a few days ago that I was going to play this, and he says, "Oh, not one of those ones that keeps repeating." It's like, I don't know what those are, but anyway, I'm going to keep exploring. Maybe we'll find more pieces by this composer.